Hey, it's Pauly. Nothing fancy. I just want to make this real quick up front. Please give me a follow on social media at the Pauly Kover. Today is a very special anniversary for me. It is March 20th, 2021. Exactly 29 years ago, I was on the radio for the very first time. I was 10, almost 11 years old, a couple months away from my 11th birthday, and I was a caller on the Buzzard Morning Zoo, WMMS in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I was born and raised. Jeff and Flash were the hosts of the Buzzard Morning Zoo, and their guest that morning was WWF superstar, Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig. And while he was my favorite WWE superstar at the time, I'll just call it WWE. He was my favorite WWE superstar at the time, so of course I had to call in. They let me on the air. You will hear this. I could just play the phone call, but I listened to the entire cassette tape that I had recorded when I was 10 years old in my bedroom, and you could hear snippets of other radio stations, and then it leads into this broadcast with Jeff and Flash and the interview with Mr. Perfect, and I will play that in its entirety. There were entire songs, no need for the entire song, so little clips of the songs. There were commercial breaks that I took out, but I did leave a couple commercial breaks so you could hear what commercials were like back in 1992 in Cleveland, Ohio. Again, you will hear a young 10, almost 11-year-old Pauly, pre-puberty, calling in to his favorite wrestler, Mr. Perfect. So let's get to it. Pauly calling his favorite radio show, WMMS Buzzard Morning Zoo, with Jeff Kinsbach, Ed Flash Ferentz, and his favorite WWE superstar, Mr. Perfect. Please take a listen to this. Please enjoy it. If you don't like wrestling and maybe you like radio, you will enjoy how a morning show was presented back in 1992. And if you love wrestling, you will really enjoy Mr. Perfect as a guest, and then you will hear me. March 20th, 1992. Mr. Perfect on the Buzzard Morning Zoo. Enjoy.
Perfect from the World Wrestling Federation is in the studio with us. We're going to get to him coming up. Another 7:05. This is Jeff Kinsbach. Mr. Perfect is in the studio with us. We'll be rapping to him coming up next on MMS. WWF, Mr. Perfect. All right.
That's right, the one and the only.
That's right. How are you?
Perfect.
A stupid question. You are big, man. How'd you get that big?
Well, I was born this way, genetics.
I guess it must be. Hey, would you mind taking some phone calls from some of our listeners?
I'd love to take a phone call from a few people here, and see exactly what kind of minds I'm dealing with here in the morning,
There you go. If you want to talk to Mr. Perfect, 578-1007 or 1-800-348-1007, toll free. Well, you picked a heck of a weekend to come to town. The Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, and Rowdy Roddy Piper take on Sid Justice and your guy, Ric Flair, tomorrow at the Coliseum, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that's going to be a big matchup. All the controversy and all the war that's going on right now is between Hulk Hogan and Sid Justice, and they're involved in a tag team match. Of course, WrestleMania, as everybody knows, it's going to be one-on-one Hulk Hogan against Sid Justice. And you know what? It's going to be a great day because it's going to be the last time we're ever going to see Hulk Hogan.
Really? Whoa, those fighting words there. And how's Ric Flair doing?
Perfect.
You're his executive consultant, right?
Right.
And what do you do for Rick?
Well, see, when Ric Flair came into the World Wrestling Federation, I had already been on top of the World Wrestling Federation for the past 3 years.
That's right.
So Ric Flair, with the great credentials that he had coming into the World Wrestling Federation, claiming that he was the real world world champion from another federation, well, in about 4 months' time, I've consulted him all the way to the World Wrestling Federation Championship.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to pick sides here. I don't want to take sides, but I just want you to know that the last time the Hulkster and Ric Flair went at it, we tried to call Hulk Hogan, and he didn't return our call.
No, Rick was real good with us,
You know
though.
who returned our phone call? Ric Flair.
I told him to.
There you go. See?
Good for you.
By the way, Mr. Perfect is going to be at the American and Canadian Sport, Travel, and Outdoors Show at the IX Center. He's going to be meeting and greeting his fans, signing autographs, and showing off his perfect stuff today from 6 until 9 p.m., tomorrow, the 21st, from 1 until 3 p.m., and again on Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m., okay? That's at the IX Center. So, Mr. Perfect in the studio with us this morning. We're going to take a short break here with Casey Coleman and a look at sports.
We're wrapping up our conversation with Indians manager Mike Hargrove.
Hopefully, we've got that hole plugged now with Steve Olin and some other guys, to where we don't lose those games in the late innings.
Thank you, Mike.
You bet.
Tribe manager Mike Hargrove. This is Casey Coleman with the Tribe in Tucson.
7:17 at WMMS. Jeff and Flash along with Mr. Perfect in the studio from the WWF. Got a fax. I'll tell you, every line to the radio station is lit up right now that wants to talk to you. Got a fax that just came over the fax machine, and you know if they're faxing us at 7 o'clock in the morning, they're desperate. Says, Jeff, can you ask Mr. Perfect what his father's doing now? And also, can you repeat the wristband information for the boneheads here that were too busy telling each other to shut up? Thanks, from Dana Showalter. But anyway, the wristbands, of course, you can grab them anywhere at a Ticketmaster location today, and just return tomorrow morning at 9:30, and they'll do a random draw.
And it's real important that you go back to the Ticketmaster location that you got the wristband from.
So can you answer his question about how your dad's doing?
Yeah. Oh, my dad's doing great. My dad's still 340 pounds, and
Wow.
he's in shape, unbelievable shape. You know, he just turned 55 years old, and he's perfect too.
Good.
You know,
Runs in the family.
I got to get it from somewhere. You know,
Got some good stock. Hi,
There you go.
You are on the air with Mr. Perfect.
Hey, Mr. Perfect, this is Mike Solowski from Twinsburg. I was wondering if you had some extra photos of Elizabeth hanging around there. You could send to me.
Well, I sure do. I'm going to have some wallet size made up, you know, and but at WrestleMania we got some real revealing ones, you know, cable pay-per-view. There's no editing. They can't get rid of it. We got a centerfold of Miss Elizabeth, and she really looks great except for that staple in her stomach, but everybody's got to judge for themselves, you know.
How did you get those pictures?
Well, Ric Flair actually I actually dug him up, but Ric Flair, you know, he's got a photo album that you know, he's got hundreds of women inside that photo album, and Elizabeth just happened to be one of them. You know, she's like damaged goods to, you know, so.
Is she upset about this?
Damaged goods.
How does Elizabeth feel about this?
Well, I mean, how can she feel? How can she look the Macho Man in the eye when she gets that old time feeling up and down her spine? Her hands got to be getting sweaty every time she looks the Macho Man in the eye. You know, it's a hard act to follow, Slick Rick. You know, once you ride Space Mountain, there's nowhere else to go.
Man, can you believe this?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, let's take another call. You're on the air with Mr. Perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Todd from Stowe.
So?
Yeah.
What's your question?
Yeah, I want to know where the Ultimate Warrior has been.
The Ultimate Warrior. I think he married one of the referees and they're living happily ever after something.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Well, if he comes back, he's going to take care of Flair the way he did Honky Tonk Man.
Next.
oh boy. Hi, you're on with Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, Mr. Perfect. Big fan of yours and Flair's. Like to know when you're going to recuperate from your injury and get back in that ring and defeat either Piper or Hart for that Intercontinental belt.
Well, actually, right now I'm 100% healthy. You know, I'd hurt my back a little bit, but now that I'm doing the broadcast journalism for the WWF and I'm guiding Ric Flair, executive consultant to Ric Flair, I'm going to let this Ric Flair and beat all the guys here, the Macho Man. Who knows? Maybe I'll take on Ric Flair in the next WrestleMania. Who knows? I'll be back, though. I guarantee you that. I don't want to deprive the people too much, you know.
Oh, I understand.
Thanks for calling.
You're on the air with Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Perfect. Welcome to Cleveland.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I love you and Ric Flair, and I just think you should ditch the Weasel, though.
Yeah, well, that just shows how much you know.
You're on the air with Mr. Perfect. Go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Perfect, why'd you ever quit wrestling?
Well, I haven't actually quit wrestling. I'm still around, like I just said to the other person before you. You know, Ric Flair, world champion. After Ric Flair defeats the Macho Man on April 5th at WrestleMania, I think I'll be back in the picture shortly after that because the WWF certainly needs some superior talent, and that's what I have.
All right. You're on the air. Good morning.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you rank Nick Bockwinkel up with Flair and Hogan?
Well, it's hard to do that because Nick Bockwinkel was in a whole different era. Nick Bockwinkel was a great wrestler.
You wrestled him.
I'm the one that defeated him for the AWA World Championship. So, and I also wrestled him one time on ESPN ESPN to an hour to a draw. Nick Bockwinkel was a great wrestler, but he doesn't have, like all the athletes in the 90s, they're more advanced. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, and of course they're better looking. But in comparison, Nick Bockwinkel was great during his time, but I don't think he can compare with Ric Flair.
Are you still friendly with the genius?
No, but if you want his number, I can get it for you.
What is it?
7:22 with Mr. Perfect. We have Mrs. Perfect doing the traffic.
Can I ask Mr. Perfect a question?
Sure you can.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
Well, have you heard all these allegations about the World Wrestling Federation?
Yeah, I've heard them all.
You haven't been approached by Pat Patterson or anything?
No, I certainly haven't. In fact, I've known Pat Patterson for 10 years, and the allegations that are being made are all by people that used to work in the WWF who didn't have quite enough talent to really make it, and they're trying to get publicity for themselves.
That's what I thought.
And they're all untrue, and the WWF is a very first-class organization. I'm proud to be working for them.
Great. Well, I'm glad to hear it straight from the source.
That's it.
Okay, we're starting to see a rush hour on the North Coast. Sun glare is going to be a factor if you're traveling around town, and this traffic a service of today's business products. We're seeing some volume on 77 northbound between Brecksville and the railroad tracks south of Grant, and then again from 30th to the Belt because of sun glare there. Same thing on inbound 90, just a bit glaring, and 71 slow from Clark. Then up on the Interbelt from the East 22nd Street exit. Inbound East Shoreway from 140 to Eddy. And in Akron, we have an accident in the 1200 block of Triplet. Police just about cleared an accident in Macedonia on Highland westbound at Route 8 southbound. A full feature plain paper fax for under $2,000. Call today's business products at 267-5000 for your Okifax. Today's business products, your preferred Minolta and Okifax dealer. With Buzzard Traffic, I'm Laura Farrell.
Get to the airport 8 minutes to spare. Remember to call the boss from the airport. Then remember she's at lunch. Can't remember the restaurant's number. Get to a public phone.
Madam, I'm from Ohio Bell.
Get ready to call information. Find a pen. Find some paper. Drop the pen. Rip the paper.
I'm here to help you.
Pen will run out of ink. Isn't that one of the laws of physics? Pens running out of ink during crises?
Ohio Bell can make this a whole lot easier.
What do you mean easier? How?
Well, 411 is all you need to dial.
What, they call my boss for me?
In a manner of speaking. Now when you have no time, information does everything. Gives you the number, then puts the call through, too.
You're not kidding me, right? You're talking to a desperate person.
Oh, I wouldn't toy with you. When you really need to move fast, have information do it all and complete the call. From Ohio Bell, an Ameritech company. A small additional charge applies when you complete your call through information.
And now that bubbling booster of books and bears, that BP guy.
Guess what? Winnie the Pooh children's books are now available at BP. And here to talk about them is a real Winnie the Pooh fan, little Mikey Ward.
Hi there.
You're little Mikey Ward?
My friends call me Scooter. Want to ride my bike?
Mr. Ward, how old are you?
6.5, but I'm big for my age.
You're not 6.
Am so.
And you don't have to pretend you're a child just because you like Winnie the Pooh.
Will you tie my shoe?
Winnie the Pooh children's books have been delighting people for generations. 6 hard-covered books, each a $4.95 value, just 99 cents with every 8-gallon fill-up at BP. Plus a free collector's case.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. I'm 42 years old and I love Winnie the Pooh.
Perfectly understandable.
Say, would you read me a few pages?
What?
I'll just sit up here on your lap.
Mr. Ward.
The Winnie the Pooh collection by Milne Shepard now at participating BP stations. Offer good while supplies last.
Oh, great. Now I gotta lie him down somewhere.
All my men listen to Jep and Flash. I'm 100.7 WMMS.
Meanwhile, I'm still thinking here. Mr. Perfect in the studio with us this morning from the World Wrestling Federation. He's in town. I'm going to run down where you can see him in just a few short minutes here. But he's been taking some phone calls, about ready to wrap it up here. We also got a grand prize winner to choose in a few seconds. How about a couple more calls, Mr. Perfect?
Go ahead.
All right. Hi, you're on the air with Mr. Perfect.
Is this wrestling thing real?
How old are you, kid?
12.
Okay, kid, let me tell you something. Everything about World Wrestling Federation's real. And if you doubt any of that, why don't you come down here right now, bring your dad with you, and I'll show you how real it is.
Whoa!
He's not kidding.
What's your name?
Matt.
All right, Matt, did that answer your question?
Did that convince you?
Yeah.
All right. Are you going tomorrow, Matt?
No.
All right. Do you watch him on TV?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, you watch him on Fox 19?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 3 times a week. WWF Wrestling Spotlight, Fridays at 10 p.m. WWF Superstars of Wrestling, Saturdays at 11 a.m. That's one I usually catch. And WWF Wrestling Challenge, Sundays at 11 a.m. Well, thanks for calling. Hi, you're on the air with Mr. Perfect.
Hi, Mr. Perfect. I'd like to ask you, who do you want to win the IC championships, Hitman or Hot Rod?
Well, to tell you the truth, that I don't really care for either one of them. I think that's going to be a great matchup, because Piper's the kind of guy that'll do anything. But myself, I don't really respect a guy who wears a dress to the ring. I'm talking about Roddy Piper, So I'm gonna have to put my money on the Hitman, Bret Hart. He is the one that defeated me for the Intercontinental Championship. So my money's on the Hitman.
Oh, can I ask you another question?
Hurry up.
Are you going to be at the Coliseum tomorrow?
I may be hanging around a little bit, Yeah, I may be there by Ric Flair's size. Good possibility, yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hi, you're on the air with Mr. Perfect.
Hi, is that really you, Mr. Perfect?
Absolutely.
Hi, this is Chrissy. What's the most perfect part of your body?
Janet.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I know who this is.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you what.
What's she doing this for?
Whether I'm wearing one of them perfect suits I wear to the ring or whether I'm wearing a nice suit, every suit, whether I'm in my birthday suit.
Ooh.
All part of me is perfect, every part.
Ooh.
Janet.
And are you single?
I am if you want me to be, honey.
I'll be here in 5 minutes, babe.
Janet, go do your work. Jeez. Hello, you're on the air with Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, I want to know, what do you have to do to become perfect?
Well, brother, don't worry about it because either you're born with it or you're not.
All right, thanks.
Oh, I'll tell you what, before we say goodbye to Mr. Perfect, we got to choose a grand prize winner, somebody who's going to win front row seats to the bout tomorrow afternoon to see the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, and Rowdy Roddy Piper take on Sid Justice and Ric Flair, the WWF Earth-Shattering Wrestling bout. Also, this person will win courtesy of Highway Star limo service to and from, including lunch at celebrities. And Mr. Perfect is sticking his perfect hand right in there right now. Got a name for us?
I'll guarantee I can pick a female out of here. I can pick a female's name a mile away. Watch this.
I got to see.
Boy.
Okay, like I said, how about Sharon Shire?
All right, Sharon Shire of Cleveland.
All right.
Grand prize winner picked by Mr. Perfect.
Congratulations, Sharon.
And Mr. Perfect, I want to thank you for stopping by. Of course, people can stop by and see you tomorrow at the American Canadian Sports Show. Actually, tonight you can see him. He'll be meeting and greeting his fans, signing autographs, and showing off his perfect stuff.
I'll be probably hanging around the Flash tonight a little bit, too. So
there you go. From 6 until 9 p.m. at the IX Center. Tomorrow from 1 until 3, and again on Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. Well, good luck, Mr. Perfect.
Hey, you guys are great, man. It's been a pleasure being here, and I hope I can come back and see you some other day here in the morning. It's a little bit early for me, but, I just got done jogging a couple miles and did my push-ups and sit-ups, so it was kind of easy to get over here this morning, but...
Well, we appreciate it. And you continue to be Mr. Perfect.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Bush to announce major spending cuts.